One extra.
There's a genre that has evolved from the streets of London that has just taken over. It's just been the sound of youth culture, good or bad, however you want to kind of paint it and whatnot. And a couple of people from that scene you can definitely call leaders in that world. Yeah, man, Skengdo AM in the building. Drill superstars, drill sergeants, what you saying?
Wait, you know.
Yeah.
With your level of mainstream success, like how does it feel to still be labelled straight, take the music away, take everything away? People always look at you as two people doing what you're doing and throw the word gangsters in the mix. Like how does it actually feel as two people who kind of like are driving through?
I am offended. I don't, it is like, that's the only people that ain't taking time to look into me or look into us as individuals. I wouldn't say we give them a lot to work with anyway because of the type of music. So a lot of people, it's just an assumption, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I ain't really mad at no one. However, the outlets, like any media outlets or police force, anyone that actually has to do research before they come up with something, when they're just saying things, that's when I feel offended, because I'm like, you could have done better than that. You could have seen that, like, we're musicians. You could have spoke about that, you know what I mean? And addressed us as musicians, you know what I mean? Because being a gangster doesn't pay you. So how are we getting paid, you know what I mean? So, like, I feel like my profession currently is a musician.
I hear that. And do you feel like there's a level of respect that people don't give you as artists? You touched on that there, in terms of being a sick drill MC or taking that seriously isn't something that everyone can do. Do you feel a little bit disrespected on that side of things when people just kind of look at the aesthetic and all of that, or is that just something that, like...
I do, because it's like, cool. Like, we put in the work to get where we are, you know what I mean? So if it was just a thing where anyone could come up and do it, then everyone would blow, you know what I mean? Everyone would get far in music, you know what I mean? So clearly we're doing something different, and that's what time and dedication and stuff, that's where it's got us. So I feel like we deserve a bit of respect for that.
With you guys being seen as kind of leaders and people that have been at the forefront of UKDrill, do you take on the pressure to have to kind of speak on it? Obviously with other stuff that has happened, which we'll get into. Do you take that pressure on, or do you kind of discard it? Like,
for me personally, it's a bit of both. Reason being, for that reason, because you see, when they want to talk about it, like, bring it back to what Ian was saying, it's always negativity. I don't want to be seen in that light 24/7, do you know what I mean? Like, they're already saying that our music is negative and whatever, this, that, the other. So when you want to bring us onto these media outlets, and then all you want to talk about is negativity, it's just like, what did you bring us on here for? We could have been speaking about something positive and different. So that's why I'm a bit of both. And then there's other reasons, like sometimes I do think it's good because they get to see our side, like our opinions on whatever they're talking about. But I don't want to be coming to your place of business every week talking about the same thing. Do you know what I mean? That's where I'm coming from on it.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, like, what do you want people to get from your music? When I put in the bodies of work, I know what I take away from it. When people have finished listening to your music, what do you want them to get from it?
Like, it's different in terms of the message, because a lot of the time it's not a clear story that we're putting out, but I feel like I just want people to appreciate the way it's constructed, I'd say. Like, the way certain things are said, the way it's portraying this story. Like, it's portraying, it's portraying a story of where we've come from and stuff like that. So it's like, I want people to be able to kind of understand it from our perspective a bit, and just appreciate the way we've constructed it, kind of thing, like as a body of work.
Yeah, and you see the art in it.
Yeah, definitely.
What's been the reception internationally to the UKDrill sound? Like, have you felt energy, and how have they taken it? How have they taken it in?
I think it's starting to get mad, if I'm honest. Like, bro, there's Australian drill, there's...
Yeah, I saw that yesterday.
There's Irish drill, I've seen, Latino drill. Bro, man, I think every country right now is going to have...
You know what's crazy, though? a lot of these other countries, you would have thought it was a spin-off of the original, like Chicago drill, but most of them are spin-offs of the UK drill.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I've heard Canadian UK drill. The Australians are using the UK flows and even the slang and the beats, you know what I mean?
How would you differentiate the difference between the US drill and the UK drill? I know I would say, but what would you say?
I feel like it's a lot of ingredients, but mostly the slang. The slang kind of intertwines a bit, but you can clearly tell what UK people like their slang. And the beats, definitely, we'd use completely different beats.
Slightly faster.
Yeah, definitely a bit faster. I feel like it has a bit of a grime influence.
Yeah, it's like 140.
Yeah.
A lot of times as well.
Yeah.
And then the big question, whether you're drilling in China, drilling in Ghana, drilling in Sierra Leone, do you have to drill to be a drill artist? Like, what's required?
You know what's mad?
Like,
I feel like the criteria done changed up a whole lot.
Okay,
like a whole
talk
lot.
to me.
Because obviously, when we first started, and when that was round about the time Joe was just kicking in, it's been like a year or two in. But I feel like, obviously, the way it works is anyone coming up from an area, talk about works, talk about thing. It's nothing to get a quick CRB, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People, their ears are to the streets, so they already know. Cool, who are these guys? They're from that area. Cool, what's going on? Boom, 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 you know what I mean? And instantly they can pull it up. And obviously if they want to cancel you, they'll cancel you and say, oh, wait, this guy's jamming it. Or if not, they don't, you know what I mean? So back then, I feel like it was a whole big race. Drill was popping and everyone was just trying to prove that, you should know about us. We do this, we do that. And a lot of people are going out wrong, you know what I mean? And trying to do that. I feel like nowadays, it's so different. Like people they can just have a group of people, put some numbers together and say, this is us now. You know what I mean? I feel like there's still elements of people just coming out of nowhere and then trying to do stuff so people can say that, yeah, these lot are drills. But
surely that's a problem though. To be a drill artist, some people might think to enter that world and to be credible, you might need to be active, have a certain amount of drama, a certain amount of negative, active stuff going on. Do you get what I mean?
No, not necessarily, because there's a whole lot of people that are out right now that haven't come from that. You know what I mean?
I hear that.
They literally just they'll come in the drill and say a couple things and they do their thing. But I feel like that's the difference between what the police think drill is and what drill actually is.
So that's what I was about to ask you, because I feel like any good music, regardless of genre, is about truth. Is the truth of drill a problem?
What I'd say is, because a lot of people, and even a lot of times in our music currently, we don't have to talk directly about us and stuff we're doing. You know what I mean? We talk about general things that's happening and general problems, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's a very small population of people that's still trying to prove themselves and do music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I feel like that phase is long and gone. You know what I mean? Nowadays, it's literally people just coming up and talking about what's been happening and what's done happened. You know what I mean? And trying to move forward from that. But highlighting that issue got the police and everyone else all panicking because they're thinking what's going on in these areas. And then they're trying to bring it back to old school when they could make correlations between drill artists and problems. You know what I mean? And people are getting arrested. So if that's still current, if that's still true today, then everyone would be in jail.
Yeah, because that's been a proper, real problem for you guys in the sense where, for those who don't know, it has directly affected your careers. Cressida Dick, the Met Police Commissioner, said trivial disputes between young people who were goading each other on social media and in music videos were escalating into violence within minutes. Like, when you hear stuff like that, Skengdo, like, how do you react? Like, what's your take on hearing something like that?
I think it's a load of rubbish. Read that statement again.
Cressida Dick said, trivial disputes between young people who were goading each other on social media and in music videos were escalating into violence within minutes.
Bro, are you trying to tell me that every second of the day a music video is getting released? Like, it's not every time a music video gets released, bro. Like, the streets are cracking, bro. Like, and that's not because of just music. Do you know what I mean? Music, yeah, it might add this fuel to the fire, social media, people taunting each other and stuff, but I'm guessing that's just the culture. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've been seeing it from, maybe not on social media, but people send shots for each other on songs from way before any of us were doing it. It's kind of just what we've inherited and we've brought to our genre of music. So for them to say that, like, that's just the main issue, it's not. Do you know what I mean? There's a bigger problem.
Yeah, and do you think that there's... I mean, I'm sniffing that you feel there's a bit of a lazy approach in taking that angle from their side.
Because for them, it just seems like the easier option instead of actually dealing with the issue. It's just like, okay, we can just say this, say this a few times, convince a few people that that's the reason why, they'll agree with that, and then boom, now we've got a whole load of people that don't actually understand, haven't taken the time to even get their own knowledge about the situation.
Well, then you do get people like Idris Elba. Obviously, I think he's famously like just jumped in front of a lot of issues out of care. I think. Do you know what I mean? I do think it's done out of love, in my humble opinion. And he said something. He said this actually recently. He said, "Entertainers, we have to say something. There are young people that look at us. We need to send a message saying, put the knives down. It's dumb. Kids are killing their futures and other people's futures as well." And what would you say directly to someone like Idris who says something like that?
Obviously, like we understand that a lot of younger people are going to be hearing violent lyrics of ours, and it's not a thing where that's our target audience. It's a thing where that's a third party. They're like a third party. They just hear it because it's out there and it's available. You know what I mean? In terms of how I feel about responsibility, like if I feel, I just personally take it upon myself to say other things. Like, I don't always talk about, like, throughout our history, we don't always talk about violence. We talk about solutions, we talk about economic problems, we talk about the repercussions of violence. So we cover a whole load of different ways to understand what's going on. But what I'd say is, I feel like media outlets, like YouTube and whatnot, should do what they do for other forms of art, i.e. there's you can sign in, you know what I mean? If content is above if content is explicit, then they'll make you sign in to be able to view it, you know what I mean?
So are you okay with that as artists, having your audience limited because of what you're saying?
Personally, I wouldn't mind, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the target audience, I want it to be an audience that understands what's going on. You know what I mean? As we can cater for a younger audience and make different, still drill music, but tone it down for a younger audience. That's not a problem. But that's what I mean. Filmmakers and gamers, they don't have to do different content. They know already that the sense that, like, there's boundaries. You know what I mean? YouTube isn't gonna let a certain age listen to, and that's why they don't get drawn out about it. You know what I mean? But then they're gonna take our videos completely off of YouTube because it's not appropriate. You know what I mean? It's not fair. Why can other people have inappropriate content and still have it there because they can, you know what I mean? They can make people sign in to watch it if they're old enough. So I just feel like, obviously, I just know that currently that's not the situation. If they do that for us or not, I don't know. But currently, because that's not the situation, I always make sure that we talk definitely about repercussions and definitely about economic problems, so that the kids listening to it, no one can actually say, yeah, you don't talk about these things. And what Idris is saying, that's why I agree with it, because we do talk about it. We might not directly say, put down your knife, but we do say things, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, we could pull up 100 different references about that. So I agree with what you're saying.
I hear that. But as artists and stuff, it's been a bit of a weird position for you guys, because you've literally been told to not talk about it, essentially. That's how I see it. Is that how you feel about it?
Yeah, and I feel like that was purposely done because they don't want us to talk about it. Us telling everyone put down the knives isn't going to solve the issue because no one ain't going to listen.
At all.
How many times has old heads been saying these things for years and years and years? That ain't going to change nothing. We ain't going to make no difference. Bringing it to light now, that's a whole nother thing, you know what I mean? And that's what they're trying to shut down. They're trying to be like, no, don't say that. Because now people are going to know and we're going to have to do something about it. You know what I mean?
Literally. So, now, can you explain from your point of view what happened in the sense of you were told to not perform, you were told to not rap, you were told to... Like, how do you explain it? Because it's quite a hard one to understand from a distance.
All I'll say is initially, it was imposed. So we had no option. Okay. No, this is about to happen to you. They thought they gathered between themselves, the police, and said, "Yo, nah, we're gonna impose this on these two, and it's gonna be active from it's been given to them." You know what I mean? From it's been like a subpoena or something. Like, but yeah, what are you saying, Skeng?
I think what it is they're just trying to just put a cap on everyone. Like, see what they're trying to do, bro. Like, it's a mad thing, bro. Like, it just happened out of nowhere. Like, I'll be real. That's where we came back from. Where did we come back from? It happened straight after we come back. We flew out, come back from somewhere, and I remember my mum's like, "Raw, police have come to the gaff and that. What have you done?" Now I'm like, "Raw." Like, I'm all thinking back, like, "Raw, what's going on?" They're like, they wanted to give you a letter and that, but they wouldn't give it to us. Thinking, just something to do with, I don't know, antisocial behaviour or something. Cool. Then this injunction comes just out of the blue, do you know what I mean? As AM said, it was just forced on us. Like, it was kind of, when they finally came back and gave me the letter, it was like, I didn't have to take it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So if I didn't take it, that injunction would have been served on us. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It would have been served on us later on, but not at that
Not at
time.
that point.
Yeah. But I've taken it and not even knowing what it was, opened the letter like, "Raw, this is the mad thing." So it was definitely forced on us. Like, we didn't have a choice.
Mad.
But
And you were aware of the injunction, yet decided to perform Attempted 1.0 and someone uploaded a video anyway to social media. Like, what made you just feel like you still wanted to express yourself?
No, it was these blurry lines, man. The whole injunction was so blurry. There was like 12 names of our friends that we grew up with that we wasn't allowed to contact directly or indirectly. They said we can't make music that's seen to incite violence. So that's not direct. What are we saying in the song that's inciting the violence? How are we going to draw the line? You know what I mean? So it was so blurry. And what we took from it is that we can't produce any new music that obviously that they see that they're gonna think is inciting violence. So when it comes to a song that we've done already, it's like we can't get in trouble for that because that song's already out.
Yeah.
There's no more damage that it can do.
Yeah.
And considering the environment we're doing it in, it's at a tour. We're not sending it to anyone directly. We're not saying, "Yo," and this is new news to everyone else. You know what I mean? No, it's part of the people paid money to come to our tour. And that's one of the songs they wanted to hear, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, we didn't even think nothing of it. We didn't think it would be a breach. But boy, in that courtroom, they were moving, man.
They were fuming.
They
Wow.
broke down the
So what actually
song.
happened? Like, what now?
They broke
That happened
down this.
and-
What? 9 months suspended sentence, bro.
No, they definitely tried to get us a custodial sentence. And
What was it,
any
6
judge,
months or something?
initially, any judge could have just been like, "Yeah, just, cool. Let's give them the custodial. It was a breach," you know what I mean? Because they basically just said, "Yeah, you breached." Looking at the breach guidelines, oh yeah, they're entitled to this much time, you know what I mean? So obviously the prosecutors were pushing for that one, like, yeah, give them the custodial. There's so many reasons why I think they done that, you know what I mean? But that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, the judge saw that. The judge was like, "All right, cool, boom, first breach, 9 months, suspended for 2 years." But now it's like, if you breach again, the 9 months is active. But breaching is easier, but it's easier to breach than to go outside and buckle. I'd rather just sit in my house.
Yeah.
Like, right now, I can make a tweet right now.
Yeah.
Send, breach. That's jail
Wow.
time.
So like, so one would say, like, as people who paint pictures, graphic pictures that some people might want to see. Some people say that your kind of paintbrush has been stolen.
It's a scary line that they're about to cross.
Yeah.
Because it's an art form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna censor paintings. You ain't gonna censor, you know what I mean? Other forms of art, theatre, films, games, but music. You know what I mean? So if it's starting with music, where's it gonna end? You know what I mean? Aren't you surely gonna have to censor everything else? Who knows?
Mad. And some would just be just like, you get those frustrated people who have been through things, be it relatives that have been through drama, who just feel like anything that just at least tries to solve the problem helps. What would you say to those people when it affects you so directly?
I'd say do your research. The same way as you're about to vote for a party, you're not just gonna vote for them because of what they said on TV. Like, you're gonna need to know what's the actual conditions. This is even trying to talk about Brexit, my guy. But why am I hearing on the radio everyone saying we didn't know that this was gonna happen if we voted out? We didn't know. Didn't you do your research? You get it? So before you vote for something, and before someone says we're doing this, and you're saying that's good, do a little bit of research. It's not hard. Just Google,
I hear that. Because that's the scary thing. Because I guess, look, we're One Extra. This is a radio station. We specialise in black music. If you know what is going on in UK underground music, Skengdo and AM are doing bits and pieces. Be it a fire in the booth, you've been up here and smashed it. Being the bodies of work that have charted and whatnot. But it's a really kind of strange time. As young people, does it kind of like, being so affected directly by the government and their perspective on what you do as artists, has it made you look at the political landscape and MPs and that whole world differently as well? Like, is it something you wouldn't have paid attention to beforehand?
I think I was not always, let me take that back, not always. For the last maybe 2 years, I've been into politics, not deeply, but have at least once a day, man, will watch the news and that, so I know what's going on around the world and in our country, because it's important. You never know that one day they could just say the bad thing on the news and that, like Skengdo and AM, but wanting anyone that catches them, you get 10 grand, like something mad like that. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like with all the rubbish that's been going on, especially since then, I've been paying attention to the news a lot more, because our names are always in there and they're always digging at drill music and stuff. So I'm interested to hear what they're saying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to stay up to scratch with what's going on as much as they do, because I can't be behind, bro, or they're just gonna eat us alive. Do you know what I mean?
Has it made you realise what you're doing is bigger than music, in a positive and negative way? Has it made you realise the impact of your existence and choosing to do what you do?
Yeah, definitely.
And how does that make you feel? Is that like something that makes you feel whoa, or bring it on?
Yeah, no, it's therefore a bring it on thing, because we never anticipated it initially. So everything, like, there's another thing every day that just surprises me, like, oh, okay, this and this and that and that. So we're therefore just trying to take advantage of all the opportunities that's in front of us.
And do you feel like, sorry to interrupt, but I really want to ask this, do you feel like right in justifying your position? Because obviously now, when you're putting pen to paper, you must think, whoa, all right, cool. Like, does it make you even more like into your art and expressing yourself, or has it kind of made you hold back?
At the start, for me, it made me hold back. Made me hold back because it was just like I wasn't sure how to put it without, breaching or getting in, getting myself in any trouble. You want to stay free, I guess. You know what I mean? So it was kind of a struggle. But once I realised, like, boom, all right, cool. I think it was the first song come out. You kind of know your boundaries. As you push, you kind of know what's good and what's not. Do you know what I mean? So one song came out, then another, and I realised, all right, cool.
What advice would you give to young drill artists that may be involved in gang culture?
You gotta stay focused, keep your head out of that, you know what I mean? Car, there's therefore bigger things, better things, you know what I mean? The music game is serious, do you know what I mean? All of that, you don't want to be out here. It's long, stead, nothing out here, so, stay focused.
I hear that. And AM, what's the goal, man? Where are we taking this?
It's the money comes in when you put in the work, you get it, so pushing as much as we can, expanding. It was just overseas, just trying to do the most we can, you know what I mean? Make our sound universal, make our sound everywhere, like put it everywhere. Yeah, man, just keep developing.
Sick.
Getting bigger.
Skengdo AM, big up enough for coming true, man.
I know, love.
Bless up.